Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is William White. I'm the Field Marketing Specialist for ARDEX for the Western U.S. I am joined today by my counterpart, Mr. Tim Aheimer, Field Marketing Specialist for the Eastern U.S. And today we have Mr. Jason McDaniels, Stoneman Construction, here to help us with an exterior installation for tile. So this is going to be the ARDEX installation. It is a floating membrane. So as we step through this installation, Jason will be doing all the hands-on portion of the work. And the first thing that we want to do when we get on the job is check for level. So our exterior systems, we have 4 of them, are designed to accept between 1 and 2.5% slope. So we want to ensure that we have good slope of our substrate. Perfect. So we're already sloping downhill. We know that we've got good slope. The next step that we would do would be to attach these profiles. My suggestion when attaching the profiles is always going to be start at the corner. That way we can square it up and make sure that we have a nice square corner and use a straight edge off of that to make sure that we're at 90 degrees. The next step after attaching the profiles and screwing them into the substrate is going to be attach this tape, and this is called the US 420, and what this tape does is it actually seals down our perimeter profile. So that one's going to go down first. So this is a butyl rubber, so this is a waterproof seal. And they're simply going to line that up with the perforations in the profile. There we go. Right to the corner. Perfect. Now they press that down really good. We do recommend using a roller to ensure that you get good adhesion. Now when the second tape is installed, you'll notice that Tim has already taken a notch out of this corner so that we don't end up with excessive overlap on our corner. Go. So sometimes installing these tapes, it is handy to have a second set of hands. That tape, if it sticks to itself, once it touches, it's pretty well stuck. So once they've put on our profile tape and make sure that that's adhered down, our next step is going to be to install a perimeter isolation foam. This is ARDEX's UD146. We use this in quite a few different installations. What this does in this instance is it provides expansion up against any stationary object, such as the house. It has a self-adhesive tab on the bottom side, so they'll just peel that off and then adhere that flap right down to the ground. As you can see, this system actually goes in really, really fast. Next, we're going to install the ARDEX 150 mat. So it is important. We always want to run these channels going downhill. So in this installation, we've pre-cut the mat so that it runs downhill. And then we have a seam reinforcement tape to join these two pieces together. So again, this is a self-adhesive tape, so you'll notice that we're not having to mix or use any adhesive so far because they're all pre-applied to the material. So at this point, now we're ready for tile. So you can really see how fast this system installs. What Jason's installing now, this is a floating system, so there's no thin set underneath of this. So over say an occupied space that would have a primary waterproofing, this is a loose laid system on top so that expansion and contraction is no longer an issue. Yeah. So the tape that Jason's applying right now is to prevent any mortar from squeezing over the edge and going and filling up the ventilation channels that are on the bottom of that profile. So there are actually holes in the profile to allow water out and to allow air in. So this system will completely dry. It doesn't have any standing water in it. So like I said, this system, we can go over occupied as well as non-occupied space. If we're over occupied space, we want a primary roofing membrane done by others. If we're over occupied or unoccupied space, we can use ARDEX SK175 directly to the substrate and install over top of that. So at this point, we're ready to install the tile. For this installation, we have two mortars that are recommended. ARDEX's X90 Outdoor is our preferred mortar, which is what we're using here, and ARDEX X32. The advantage to ARDEX X90 Outdoor is that it accepts or withstands the freeze thaw that we typically get. So I'm personally from Portland, Oregon. We get really cold winters and really hot summers. So installations, especially exterior installations, get a lot of movement. They see a lot of movement. So Jason is simply keying into the substrate, making sure that he fills all of that reinforcing mesh with mortar. Then he's going to comb it out. And now he's ready for his tile installation. Do a quick little back butter to it. Oh, you're going to double comb as well. So the advantage of the WATEX system is, as you can see, this is a very low profile system. We're a little bit less than 7/8 of an inch tall. So, you know, a lot of times in exterior installations, we don't have a lot of height available. Jason, you want to do your backsplash clip as well? Right there by the level. So you'll notice that our profile is connected with these what are called backsplash clips, and we simply pop those in just like that. So it has a nice finished look to the profile. He's got it. So as with any exterior installation, we always want to have a minimum of 95% coverage on the back of our tiles. One of the advantages of X90 Outdoor mortar is that it is a very fluid mortar, ensuring that we get good adhesion to the back of the tile. Once this installation has cured, we have two options for filling our joints. If it's a straight lay installation like this, we can use ARDEX FL or WA grout. And if we have tiles larger than 16-inch or any sort of pattern like a herringbone or so forth, we would use the ARDEX SX sealant in all of our joints, creating expansion joints at every single tile joint. So that's it. You can see that this installation goes really, really fast and is super easy to do. Again, this is not attached to the substrate, so this is a floating installation. So as we have seasonal changes and movement in the structure, we don't have to worry about any disbonding. At ARDEX, we have 4 different exterior systems. This is the WATEX system. We also have the ARDEX Pro Drain system, which goes on an A14 drainage mortar, so that assembly is about 2.5 inches thick. Then we also have our TerraMax system, which uses cement pedestals of X32, a very unique system. And then we also have our TSL pedestals. These are used typically with 2 cm pavers. What's unique about our pedestal is we have, the adjustment built in. They come pre-assembled. And we also have, I don't know if you guys can see that, but this head auto rotates. So it adjusts for slope in your substrate and you still have a level installation. Sealant. So we have a couple suggestions when it comes to doing the joints. If you are going to use sealant, one of the easiest ways to do it is actually use soapy water, because every single joint, or even at your expansion joints, if you are hard grouting it, we would still want to honor the industry recommendations not to exceed 20 feet with our installation before having an expansion joint. Oh, sorry, that's an interior. Exterior is not to exceed 6 to 8 feet. So we would want to put our expansion joints in And so a little soapy water helps to strike those joints off. My personal favorite is glass cleaner, using like an aerosol glass cleaner to strike off my silicone joints. There's a video out there on the ARDEX YouTube channel that you can see on how to do that if you're not familiar. That pretty much does our installation. I'll open it up to any questions if there are any. What you got? Yes. So the question is, does ARDEX make the profile that we've used here? So yes, this is the ARDEX DP21 profile. The 21 indicates millimeters tall, so it's 21 millimeters tall. And we have several different profiles depending on which exterior installation system we're using. So we have different heights available depending on the tile or stone and depending on the installation. So yes, this is an ARDEX profile, part of the ARDEX exterior system. Any other questions? What you got? I'm sorry?
Hurricanes and storms.
Oh, hurricanes. We don't have those in Portland. We have fires. We do have those. So with the way that this system is installed, you have the weight of the entire assembly holding it down, and then we use a silicone around the perimeter, so it is all attached to the perimeter. And our profiles with that perimeter tape on them, or profile tape on them, everything is attached to the substrate. So, winds or high winds and hurricanes and stuff like that are not an issue. What's very unique about this, though, is the rain that comes with, a storm like that. The rain is actually, or any moisture, is managed through this system. So where a lot of exterior tile installations try to hold back the water, we're actually managing the water through our system. And then it goes out those ventilation channels and evacuates the system. So it's a very dry, stable system. Any other questions? So Jason mentioned steps. How would we do this on steps? We do have a specific installation using a slightly different mat, and we can address steps. That's a very technical installation. If you run into those or if you have any questions, by all means, please come see us at the ARDEX booth, and we can go through those type of installations. And most importantly, call your ARDEX rep. He'll show up on site, and he'll support you through this entire installation. What's that? Gutters? So we do have a gutter system that attaches to our assembly. On the projects that Jason has installed 5 or 6 of these already in the Pacific Northwest. And we've always used the existing gutter system, but if it's in a situation where they want a matching gutter, we do have that available as well. So if there are no further questions, we'll wrap it up. Thank you.